special night to have Dr. Boyd with us from Southeast Junior High. This is Education Exchange. I'm Anil Qadi, your host in the program for many years. And this is one of the first nights we see a leader, administrator, young PhD leading one of our junior high schools. And it's our pride in this district to have you here. I know that you're an Iowan. You came from Waterloo. And you are in Iowa City now, so we are winning you in the southeast part of the state. Dr. Boyd, I don't know how to introduce you because you have this rich CV resume that I read before. There was a reception in Iowa City for you here that I missed because I was in Chicago in a conference that night. So I missed the honor of welcoming you to Iowa City. With leaders like you, I think we are on the launching pad to success. And that's why I would like you to introduce yourself to the community that doesn't know you, although your reputation now is going like fire in town. Have you seen the new principal at Southeast Junior High? So talk to us about yourself and why did you want to be an educator to begin with, and then why did you move to the administrative role? And then last is why did you come to this wonderful, beautiful city of Iowa City?
First of all, I just want to say thank you. I'm so honored to be able to have this conversation with you today. A little nervous, but I am honored to be here. I am originally from Waterloo. I was born in Kalamazoo, Michigan, but raised in Waterloo, Iowa. Went through the school system there. Went to Wartburg, and I got an undergraduate degree in World and American History education. And wasn't quite ready to grow up yet, so I went straight to UNI to get a master's in curriculum and instruction with a focus on literacy. And then to Drake for a second master's in effective teaching, talented and gifted, and then on to the EDD program at University of Northern Iowa. So my research there focused a lot on how African American girls experience school in predominantly white high schools. So it was just a track very blessed to be on, a lot of education, but I learned so much more as a classroom teacher, which was my absolute passion. I taught talented and gifted in Waterloo at Logan Middle School, which is now Carver Academy, and Cunningham School for Excellence under some great leaders there. So my time in the classroom was just an amazing experience. So getting into administration, I was called out of the classroom to sub as an assistant principal in Waterloo, and then rolled right into that position. My mother will tell you that she always knew that I was going to be a teacher. I was slated to be a rich and famous lawyer.
How did she come up with this prophecy? You know, how did she?
You know, my mother, who was an amazing woman, who was also an educator, high school teacher, and alternative ed, always said I kind of had what teachers need, just a passion and knack. And I fought it all the way until I got to my first field experience at Wartburg College and fell in love. And so, as my mother is always right, and she will tell you that, just fell in love with education and the experiences I had at Wartburg and in the classroom. So I was in Waterloo for 2 years as an administrator at Waterloo West, and then went to Des Moines as a school improvement leader. And so that is essentially an assistant principal over curriculum. And so my primary responsibilities there were evaluating, coaching teachers, providing professional development, and just really trying to improve the overall craft of teaching from a team approach. So that was at Lincoln High School. Very fond memories, still very close to the people there. And then I came to Iowa City, was blessed with this opportunity. There was an opening at Southeast Junior High, and I applied. And was honored with the appointment of that position. So here I am.
Well, wonderful. That's beautiful. Now it looks like you have taught in many cities in Iowa. So you experienced Waterloo and Des Moines and here and there and various schools. How did you do that? You are so young. No, I mean seriously.
I've always been very motivated, but just really been blessed with some opportunities and some people. A lot of it is what you know, but it's who you know. And again, just really working hard, putting forth the effort. I had some mentors who believed in me and, had absolutely no problem reaching down and grabbing me. Even when I was in the classroom, I had two principals. I was in two different buildings who knew I had aspirations to be in administration, but would always provide me with those opportunities. Hey, this is kind of coming up. We closed Logan Middle School and transitioned to Carver Academy. So the closing of a school, opening a new building, I was able to oversee a number of those projects. So just had some mentors who really spoke life into me and really provided some opportunities. So I was able to gain a lot of those experiences.
You are a very modest person because you are trying to give credit to others, but it is in you, the innate desire to be a leader and to make a change. And I know before, backstage, our chief producer here, Mr. John Karov, was talking to you about changes and all that. Yes, it is true that the leaders are the ones who can do or can initiate. And I think you used the word initiative a lot in your conversation with me when we were discussing your plan for tonight. But it's a new phenomenon that women became now in the forefront as administrators and planners, because usually it was the good old boys club, and they are the ones who decide, and they are suits and nice guys. Not many of them had beards, but some of them did, and then the women were teachers, classroom teachers.
Absolutely.
Now, women are sitting at the table now to make decisions. Do you feel the challenge of this?
Absolutely. I think being a woman and a person of color has always presented interesting challenges and interesting conversations, and sometimes often feeling the need to prove or justify why I am who I am. And often finding myself having to explain that my passion can look differently, especially when people are not used to working with women or people of color. So I find it a great calling, and I find it absolutely essential. Again, very blessed to be in a position for our students of color to see someone in an administrative position. One of my first years as an administrator, I was standing in the hallway, and I had a blazer and a walkie, and a black girl walked up to me, and she said, you're just really cute for a hall monitor. And, I kind of chuckled, and I'm like, oh, honey, I'm way too fabulous to be a hall monitor, taking nothing away from the great work that they do.
Sure.
But the more I thought about that, and her experience had never seen a person of color, particularly a woman, in an administrative position, and she assumed that was my position, not going to an administration. So I always feel a higher calling in the work that I do, and understand that this work is not always just about me.
Yeah, it's true. It's a challenging thing. But don't you think that we changed here in Iowa a lot?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I have been here now 35 years in this particular city. And I have seen the changes, like it's a leap of changes when I first came. And I just came from the funeral of my mother-in-law, who is an African-American educator, She's actually the stepmother of my wife, but she is one of the first African American women to be Associate Dean of Education
Wow.
in this University of Iowa. And I was looking at her. She was, of course, lying in her casket. And I had a conversation with her. I said, I have always wondered, how did you make it? How did you make it through the difficult times? But you know what? She had never had a tiny little bit of bitterness or complaints. She would always tell her student teachers and her students in the university when she was teaching Spanish and French and deaf education because her son is deaf. And she became interested in special ed. But she used to tell her students, listen, don't talk about the color as a problem in your life.
Right.
Take it as an advantage.
Absolutely.
But you will always be asked, how did you make it? You have to expect that. She said that. And don't be embarrassed. Show people who you are. Show people the good work. You know, tonight I've seen in her funeral all the faculty of education members here, all the professors, retired and current, lots of teachers, lots of physicians. Everybody comes and looks at her and said, without you, I wouldn't have gotten my PhD. Without you, I think, so I have seen firsthand an example of the challenges and how you beat it. And I'm so happy that you are just echoing what I felt a few moments ago, just a few moments ago. And definitely, I wish you all the success.
Thank you.
And I wish you, one day you will be a superintendent and you will be maybe a secretary of education. But with this kind of stamina and this kind of determination and devotion to the mission that you are leading now.
Thank you.
Tell me now about the kids.
The kids are amazing, and I know that sounds, you know, for people who don't teach junior high or have not spent time in a middle school, I probably sound insane. But I've been in high school for the past 5 years, and I forgot how awesome, sometimes quirky, the kids are, but they are so great. And maybe it's because at this age, the principal is still kind of cool. And they kind of straighten up when you walk by. So that part has been so much fun. The kids are absolutely amazing, all 804 of them right now. So, yes.
You didn't have any apprehension going to a junior high school?
Absolutely not. I taught
That's
in
amazing.
junior high. So no, I was actually pretty excited about the opportunity. My favorite grade to teach was 7th grade.
Wow.
And so,
This is the time of hormonal changes and character challenges and all that. Wow, that's amazing.
Yes. So some days are really, really good. Some days are a little off, but God, they are so much
You
fun
enjoy
at this
it
age.
anyway.
I do.
You enjoy this and that.
Yeah, just walking down the halls and, hi, Dr. Boyd, you know, that is so much fun to me. So that really balances out, you know, some of the times that are really challenging in your job, and everybody has them, but the kids are great.
So you love the kids.
Oh my
now
God,
we
yeah.
know that. And you don't have any complaints about junior high.
No.
How about your team, the teachers?
The teachers are amazing. When I was interviewing and going through the interview, talking to some of the teachers, some of the things that I heard, oh, we're family, we're family. We're very close, we work together. And so, you know, just even a little apprehensive, like, well, okay, everybody says that. But man, just going back the couple times that I got to visit before I came on officially July 1, just seeing them, hearing the conversations. So my job, my transition was very easy when we started talking about the direction of the building, when we started talking about what was important to us as a staff, when we start echoing and putting in black and white the things that we hold true and we honor in that building. And so that entire process was absolutely so much fun, because I was able to put to pen their passion. And we did that as a collective. So the team is great. The teachers are amazing. They love what they do, and they're good at doing it. So everything is great.
You have succeeded to great people, really. The immediate one was Matt Dagner, who is now in the center administration, overseeing all the elementary education, I think. And before him, Deb Rittman, who was really kind of an iconic figure.
Absolutely.
She stayed there for many years, and everybody knew her. And actually, she retired at a very young age to take care of family issues, you know. But she was great too. So it's a challenging, definitely. Usually, when you follow those people with this legacy, and now you are in a very short time, in few weeks, now you are making a big name out of this Dr. Boyd thing.
This Dr. Boyd, who is she? Yeah. So, you know, for me, it was really important to establish a vision and continue the great work that has already gone on in that building. So we spent a couple of days working with what we wanted our legacy to look like, what our vision would be as a roadmap for the success, our mission, what we would be tasked with, and what those marching orders were. And then my favorite project was establishing our core beliefs as a staff. And again, these are the non-negotiables. We do believe all students can learn without exception at high levels. So just going through that process with the staff really confirmed that this is it.
So this is a kind of democratic discourse between you and your team.
Absolutely.
Back to your style. I mean, I know that I'm focusing more on you tonight rather than on your policy. Because it's very important that you, as a leader, in front of the people, they know about your style, about your methodology. Your style is, are you the leader who delegates, or the leader who is hand-on in the hallways, walking, saying, "Hi, Cindy. Hi, George. Hi, John," patting the kids on their back? Your mother was in alternative education, so I was too.
Yes.
And I know in alternative education there is kind of more closeness with the kids.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Because they are not numbers, they are more of, human, individualized people with their character and their ambitions. And so it's a little, did you ask your mother, how should I lead? What do you advise me to do?
Absolutely. My mother and I are very, very, very close, and my mother is very wise. And so being a teacher, she keeps me very grounded, because I can call and say, "Mom, I'm thinking about this," from my principal lens or from my administrative lens. She can say, "I understand that, but this is how I hear it as a teacher." No. And so she's pulled rank a couple times on me too. So she has been very, very good for me in terms of just consulting her and making sure that I'm considering all perspectives.
It's not only a mother, a mentor too.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. So that alternative ed piece, what was important to her was the relationship. Because in alternative ed, you get kids from all walks of life that are not necessarily successful in a comprehensive.
Was she in Waterloo?
Waterloo.
Waterloo has a wonderful, I think it's Expo.
Expo,
there. Yeah,
yes.
I visited there, and we have had very long relationship. As a matter of fact, our team were going to Expo probably every couple of years to get some of their experiences.
They made some changes, but at the heart of that, what was important was the relationship piece. So she always encourages me to mean, they're people first, they're students first, this restorative, kind of discipline. But relationships, and that's what's important, and I have to revert back to my classroom days. For my students, I spent probably 3 days just getting to know them, because the time you invest up front will save you discipline, miles ahead of the game. So taking that same approach with staff, just getting to know them.
What's your target project at Southeast? If you select, I know that you have a list here, and I'm sure that I took the time that you were supposed to tell us about all that.
Fine.
But can you tell me the target project?
Yes, so the leaders that preceded me, Matt Degner and that team, started conversations about what it is, again, we believe, and we've established that all kids can learn. And so it sounds very simplistic, but really understanding how kids learn, why they learn, if they learn. A lot of times in teaching, we fall victim to, I taught them, they didn't learn it. So now the shift away from I taught it to did they learn it, and how do we know they learned it? So we're really going through some things there to really focus on student learning. So we're starting the work of professional learning communities, so wrapping around based on our content areas, identifying what's essential, what are the need to knows, not necessarily the nice to knows, because again, in education, we have all these things we think kids should learn, but really identifying and honing in on what do they need to learn in this class to be successful, and then creating assessments around those so that we can make sure, again, that students are learning what we said is important in this work. So a lot of the work around essential learnings, professional learning communities, and this whole big system called MTSS, multi-tiered systems of support. So wrapping around the kids to not only identify what they learned, how we know they learned it, but how do we respond when they don't learn it? And then how do we respond when they already have learned it? My background is gifted education, so I spend a lot of time thinking about the kids that already get it, the kids that come ready to learn the next thing. So really wrapping around 4 essential questions about how to respond when they already learn it, and how to respond when they didn't learn it.
Well, gifted education, as a matter of fact, is a form of alternative
Oh,
education.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
So how many kids now in the school?
804.
Sounds scary. 804. And how many staff members do you have?
About 61 teachers, total 105 staff members.
Do you know their names now?
All of them.
Wow.
Do you want to hear them?
Amazing. So you know 61 names.
And all 804 students, I know every one of their names too. Okay.
You're kidding.
No.
No. I would not be surprised. Yeah. Soon you will know.
Soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what's now with the assessment battery, or the assessment approach that you are now designing, do you have a team close to you of teachers working on this?
Absolutely. So the district has been given a TLC, a teacher leadership grant, and what that has allowed us to do is construct an IoT, an instructional leadership team. And this is the cream of the crop. I mean, they're the teachers that have the passion, have the skills, have the expertise. So we meet weekly and we make decisions around the instructional practices of the school.
Can I ask how many?
There are 12 of us.
Okay.
Yep, so 12, member of 12. So I have 3 coaches, and the others are members of the instructional leadership team. So any decision instructionally, I'm never making in isolation. We're talking to this team, working with this team, constructing an improvement plan for the school, and make sure that's aligned with what the district has established. So this team has been really, really good. So I'm getting better at sharing responsibility and making sure that I'm relying on the expertise of the team, because they are workers and they know their stuff. And they're really, really good at what they do.
So you are planning later to move them into the professional development process?
Absolutely.
So they will teach other teachers how to
Absolutely.
pursue that?
Yeah, and my background, did a lot of the professional development at Lincoln High School with a team of people. But it's always better when the teachers can hear from the teachers and
Yeah,
not
definitely.
always
Yeah.
the administrators. So that team is great, and they're workers. They want to do, and so that's been really good for me.
You know what? I mean, we usually have school once, but I would like to suggest, and I will talk with Chase Ramy about this, that especially with new leaders, that we would like to have you at the beginning of the year and then one more time before the end of the year.
Absolutely.
So that we'll tell you, here you are now, after 7-8 months, what's your accomplishment, what did you
Absolutely.
do, and we look and reflect
Yeah.
upon the experience of the year.
That sounds
So you promise to come?
Girl Scout honor.
Okay.
Yes.
Now with this, I think we can say goodbye to you with all our best wishes on
Thank you.
behalf of John Karhoff, Mike Peterson, as well as the team of Public Access TV. Of course, we are on Channel 18, on Channel 21, and on YouTube. Tomorrow, your kids can watch us on YouTube, as
Okay.
well as Public Access TV website. So thank you again.
Thank you
It has
very
been a
much.
delight seeing
Thank you.
Thank you. Young ladies and gentlemen, have a very good, it's still summer,
Yeah.
right? Summer night in Iowa City.